Hello, can anyone confirm if they can hear me? I want to welcome you all to this masterclass. We do a masterclass every week for the ASER Annual Status of Education report that the ITA, Dara Talim wa Agahi, do every other year. And today we are going to talk about the advocacy and dissemination of ASER report. So before I start, let me share my screen. Okay, so let's start with the introduction. I am Aimen Shakeel Abbasi and I'm a researcher at Idara Talim Agahi. I've been working here for the past couple of months, and yeah. So let's start with what the session we will give today is for the dissemination and advocacy of the ASER report, and the thematic areas that we focus in ASER are basically on education and foundational learning, the enrollment and the out-of-school children trends or ECE trends, how much tuitions are being paid that are disaggregated by school types and different grades. We also talk about multi-grade learning and teaching. We have a different aspect of climate change and how they impact schooling and learning. We also look at the wealth quartiles and how the poverty is impacting different schooling patterns. What is the impact of parents' education on the children, or either they have different access to social safety nets or not. Then we also talk about the technology trends in households. That basically means whether the households have access to smartphones, yes or no. And how many smartphones do they have? Do they have internet availability at their home or not? Then what's in the schools? What is like the children and teacher attendance, the ratio about that? How many teachers are educated? How many have some certain trainings in that field? We also look at the disability trends and health of the children, and if they have, and the schools, either they are being supported by SMCs or PTC funds, or do they have any specific other grants, and all the other facilities in the schools, if they are present to create a conducive learning environment. All of this data that we produce with all these thematic areas is kind of an evidence for our analytical notes, or policy briefs, and different blogs that ASER or ITA ASER publishes. It is based by experts and network partners, and all of this data is mapped with the SDG 4 and the Article 25A, Right to Education in Pakistan. What is the core dissemination philosophy? Okay, so the main focus of ASER remains with people, because it's a citizen-led survey, and even the dissemination approach of ASER remains with people-driven and evidence-based, and it does not only tells us how the data is collected, but how it is communicated into the general public per se. All this dissemination approach, it is to mobilize our public awareness, shape our government policies, and catalyze community action. It's mostly both systematic and inclusive. It reaches across village levels, district levels, provincial and national level. All of these separate launches that we do. All of this dissemination or advocacy for this ASER report is not just about its publication, but the depth of it lies in the debate that we try to create, the change that we foresee, and the understanding of what the education status is right now in Pakistan. So basic strength of ASER is in its identity. And the identity, it is like a grassroots initiative, which is there for national and provincial narratives for the policy makers. And although it is kind of attractive with the provincial and national stakeholders, but the depth of it is still rooted in the households and the villages and the schools from where we collect all this data. Okay, so ASER has a theory of change. What's the theory of change of ASER is like we mobilize some partners and volunteers to collect evidence on the foundational learning skills. ASER has basic tools that is being approved every year, whenever there is an ASER cycle. They are in a specific workshops, they are approved, they are revised, and then what it does is like the partners that we hire and the volunteers that we have from those partners, they collect all that data with the selected districts, tehsils, and schools from all over Pakistan. And this data is then amplify our findings. And what does our findings do? They equip communities to voice needs and take action. They advocate with government policies and service provisions. And then we also did like political constituencies where we tracked all the foundational learning skills levels of children. And after all of this, when we collect data, the government makes public commitment to accountability and actions for foundational learning. That's the basics of our data collection. And then different learning solutions. We have adopted either it's TAL, teaching at the right level, reading hour. There are second chance programs, and there are many even in emergencies and ECE level. There are TAL activities are presented. We have different trends since ASER has been happening since 2010. We have different trends that shows us that the enrollment increases if we talk about since 2012 to 2023, 77 to 88% increase in enrollment. There are gender gaps which are closing now. Learning gains are there to like increase with a 13 to 15%. So what is the basic communicating strategy for ASER? What is the advocacy model that we follow? So when the data is collected, when the report is completed, what we do is we create different launch ceremonies in the village level, at the district level, then the provincial and the national. We have different partners as well with us, like all the media partners, like newspaper, TV. We do TV campaigns, social medias. There are different policy booklets, and then there are people who have been ASER champions. They also do that. Then there are presentations and a lot of media kits as well. In the village level, our focus is on the village community gatherings, where we display our findings, where we explain what we do. It mobilizes citizens, then the target teachers, parents, government, field officers, they're all invited there so that they can see what the data of that year is telling us. Then at the district level, we hold different seminars or launch based on ASER findings. Many civil society coalitions for development of education development are there. They demand, and what we demand there is like quality education, which is generated through advocacy. And then we have all the action posters as well of what we need to do in the next years. And then we kind of make district report cards, which are also published over our website as well. The link will be shared with you after this session. There are provincial seminars and launches. There are different departmental briefings based on the ASER data. And in that, there are many policy seminars. They also constitute different dialogues or panel discussions. And on different thematic areas, either that's based on out-of-school children, gender, or climate change. Then at the national level, there is one big launch, the national launch of ASER findings. It is for briefing of research institutions, CSOs, universities, media houses, and many more, who are invited so that they can know where the education status of Pakistan is standing at the moment. So all this 3 or 4 tiered approach of ASER dissemination is from the grassroots to the government, and then there is like a feedback loop. This approach shows us that the citizens and the systems can co-own education data and drive change together. All of this data of ASER's findings is also like present on our website, is publicly available. So any institute, they can use it. The reports are there so that they can easily understand what the data ensures. And what this strategy does is they kind of create a local ownership of the evidence of all the data that has been collected, all the reports that have been published, and then there is like a national accountability, there is provincial accountability, and it is on the district level as well. So it kind of reflects all local realities and amplifies all of them to those in the power that's sitting at the government level. So this dissemination is kind of what makes the data move and create a change and a matter. So influencing policy at the national level, all of the ASER findings, they are also being published by, and they are quoted by different educational and the national level publications, and then they shape our national policy debates, learning outcomes, out of school children, and this education equity. What this support kind of campaigns this is like, and this supports is the Article 25, SDG 4, and the district and all the district education rankings. It also kind of give an impact on that. All of ASER findings are mostly acknowledged and referenced by national and academic institutions. Either they are Cambridge, Durham, LUMS, IBA, Columbia University. So this data is also disseminated among donors and ministries who then use them for their project designs and performance trackings. Yeah. Then with this data, we have strong education departments collaborations, either in Punjab or Sindh and KP. There are different learning and numeracy drives. There are diagnostic assessments. All the findings are shared with provincial launches, briefings, CSO or government roundtables. Each of these provides and enables provinces to prioritize foundational learning, plan targeted remedial interventions or catch-up interventions, and consider some of the districts as benchmark of reaching those targets. So ASER is being seen as a neutral and credible source to understand what's working and what needs fixing, especially around literacy and numeracy. Okay, so when we talk about community mobilization and district level impact, each survey cycle, it kind of creates in a village level dissemination through different, either they are organized in schools or common spaces like kacheri, like bethaks, jirgas or something like that, where all the general public can come and easily understand. It generates collective discussion with the local volunteers when they collect data from 20 with each household, as we have a sample of how many households we are going to collect data from. They create a collective discussion of what is required and where it is required. Okay, so when we look ahead of what ASER's advocacy impact is, or what ASER 2025 holds for us, how we're gonna advocate the new ASER cycle, because it's in the inception phase, and soon enough we will be collecting data and working on the dissemination and its advocacy. So this time our approach entails a different to develop a national dashboard which will show district-wise data. It will visualize ASER indicators across districts, provinces, and years. It will try to enable a comparison and will help downloads and real-time use of data by the policy makers, either by media, CSOs, or any development partner that there is. Then we have like formal integration we will try to make and formally integrate this into the EMIS and the teacher training curricula. The ASER tools, we are focusing on integrating them with the teacher trainings and school assessments, and we will collaborate with SEDs and teacher training institutes to scale these inclusive assessments furthermore. And then we will use AI to automate findings into customized briefs, and this is to generate automated briefs for districts, and this will be like backend. Whenever we have a dashboard, those automated visualizations will be there for the districts and constituencies and different policymakers to just get that data and understand what it holds. And then all of this data would be disseminated through different social media platforms, either through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. So all of this will be disseminated through that as well. So in the end, Yeah, in the end, I would just like to say that ASER's future is about its institutional depth and digital agility. These strategies kind of ensure that data isn't just collected, it's used, it's seen, and it's acted on. Even at an entry level, either from a remote village to a minister's office. It's being used everywhere and anywhere, wherever the reach is and wherever the people know what ASER is and what the data withhold for us. Thank you very much. And any questions? Okay, so in the end, I would just like to show you one more thing of what previous ASER strategies have been. Okay, when you go to the ASER website, there is a whole different section of where you can find ASER reports, ASER dissemination strategies, and ASER's advocacy. So this one right now is ASER's 2023 dissemination, where different thematic cards and policy briefs were produced. Webinars were arranged on different thematic areas of the findings. Policy briefs were created on different thematic areas. There were different report cards that were produced on on facilities present in the schools, on disability and inclusion, climate change, access to information, and foundational learning, and gender gap, of course. Then there were different advocacy and awareness sessions in different regions of Pakistan, either in Quetta, Bahawalpur, Okara, Toba Texing. And then all the different universities were, as a partner, our teams went and gave an awareness session in the universities about what the data holds for us. And then for advocacy, you can see how different level of effort is being produced with that. We have national, provincial, and district launches. We have ASER roundtables. We have journalist trainings. Then we have different posters that explains it. There are different ethics, seminars, policy briefs, and all of these are present here on our website at ASER Pakistan. And if you want to the reports and all of that data, if you want to delve into, that's present here at in the reports. These are all the reports at the national level. There are Punjab reports, Balochistan, all the provincial reports, and the regional reports as well. There was ASER urban and ASER rural as well. You can also find ASER different categories here. And even if you want to delve back into the ASER 21 or 2022, you can also find those reports here as well. So this is basically a little bit about how we disseminate and advocate ASER's findings around provincially and internationally as well. So I would take any question if I have any, and then we can close the session. Okay, so if there are any no questions, thank you very much for attending this masterclass, and I look forward to seeing you guys in other masterclasses as well. And thank you very much.